Hi, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Hello, hello. Good to see everybody here. Today is HCRV class, Heart Centered Remote Viewing. Today's class is open to the public for viewing. We try to do that a couple of times per a quarter. Do we call it a quarter? What do we call it? Terry's here. Terry, should we call it something? You have to attend 10 classes and do the homework for 10 classes to get certification. Then we're doing certification 2, which is a little bit more advanced. We're starting to play with some more advanced stuff in certification 2, which happens today after certification 1. So that's what we're doing. So today, this is one of my favorite classes to teach in the series. It's 10 lectures, and somewhere in the middle of all of those lectures, I get to teach you about the plants and plant medicine. And today, you're going to learn how to incorporate plant medicine and sacred ritual into your work as somebody who's doing HCRV, because when we look at the earliest resources as anthropologists or just people that are curious about the outside world, we know that early human beings used some form of communication, right? Remote viewing, and that these traditions were carried on for thousands and thousands of years. But we also know that shamans and healers all over the world have used plant medicine. And so we're going to be talking about how you can bring both of those together in your practice, whether you are a spirit walker, if tarot reader, empath, whatever your medicine is. Today, we're going to be talking about how to bring it all together. Before we get started, I just want to give gratitude to everybody who's here today, particularly those of you who are members who've decided to join the channel. It really, I appreciate you. And I'm glad you're here. Starting with Cardo Mancy Mesquite. Hello. Melinda Dusher as well. Also a member. Good to see you. Hello, Sharon Sipe. Good to see you. T-Bird T191, hi, a member, and a shout out to you as well. Octavia Shirley is in the house. Good to see you. Catherine Ainsworth, hello, welcome. I'm going to continue to say hi to everybody. Terry Renner is our TA extraordinaire. If you have any questions or if you're getting confused about any of the work that we're going to be doing today, so feel free to ask her questions if anything's confusing, or she can wave to me, hi Terry, and just say, hey Wims, somebody has a question for you. So today, for those of you who have never had a chance to take a class like this, today you're learning how you can expand your mind and expand your understanding of the outside world by connecting to others through a technique which is called heart-centered remote viewing. And so we connect with people by creating bridges of energetic cords with them by choice, built by love and compassion. And then we invite the other person to come in. And then in this way, we're able to access information from the other person. HCRV has 5 steps. So let's go ahead and review those 5 steps today. We teach both a long form and a short form. So can anybody tell people what step 1 is in HCRV? It's a 5-step technique. All right, so step 1 is called set and setting. So we always encourage people to work on making sure that their home is safe and pleasant and clean before you're going to be doing any kind of spiritual work. making sure that it's a sacred space, it's a clean space. You'll find that if you keep your space clean, you're going to be able to do a little bit better work. All right, set and setting also has to do with mood. Mantra music can be helpful when creating the right type of mood to put you in a good place when you're doing meditation work. I definitely will light candles and play mantra music and that sort of stuff to get the mood going. Step number 2 is the trance state. And the trance state is an altered state where a person, what we know about the trance state and entering into a semi-trance state, hypnosis, for example, is an example of being in like a semi-trance state. We know that it's something that happens all over the world, that people all over the world, regardless of what their culture is, whether they're snake charmers in India or they're doing hoodoo and voodoo in Haiti, or if they're in an evangelical church or a snake church, people will enter into these altered states. It's very important if you are a practitioner that wants to do work that requires you to be in an altered state, to be in a safe space, which is why we talk about set and setting. We also talk about things like fetish objects. We're going to talk a little bit about that today. You can see I've got my setup here and we're going to go over it together. It looks like I have everything I need, but for some strange reason, I don't see my matches. So I'm going to have to, it's always something, isn't it? Yeah, so hi, Sharon. All right, so step number 2 is set and is trance state. And then in the HCRV system, step 3 is going to be to enter. Once you enter into the trance state, you will enter into a state of abiding with spirit. And that's an opportunity for you to work on your own spiritual healing work if you decide to do that. That's step 3. And step 4 is where we attempt to create a link between ourselves and another. And that has traditionally been called the target. Now, sometimes the target can be a person, and sometimes the target can be an actual physical location. But the idea is that you send energetic, non-judgmental love and compassion from the 4th chakra to the target, and then you attempt to see if you sense or feel any type of response, and then you write the response down. Hi, class, to you as well, Connie. And then step number 5 is to cut cords and gratitude. So once you've completed your connection with the target, you then thank the individual for participating, you cut cords, and then you release. Does anybody have any questions about the 5 steps that are used in HCRV? Great job. Okay, good job. So when we are taking HCRV, we are very aware of, as we put our energy out there, right? As we're putting our energy, we're going into our heart and we're imagining non-judgmental, unconditional acceptance, compassion, and love to the other person. You want to be without judgment. It's because you want to be able to put yourself in the shoes of the other person. Step 4, depending upon just how much empathy you can feel for the other person, step 4, you theoretically can really put yourself in the shoes of the other person. And then when you do that, you can often find out a lot of important information. So we're talking about sensations in the body. I know I'm a horrible artist. We're talking about energy centers in our body that are often referred to as chakras. And what they are is they're energy vortexes. They spin, usually in a clockwise direction, though I seem to always be, my chi always seems to be counterclockwise, but whatever. And what you're doing is you're receiving stimuli that's being processed through your chakras. It's being digested right by your gut. And then as this process of digesting this information enters your system, you will begin to have flashes of insight, right? So we talk about the sixth chakra, the flashes of insight that can happen as we begin to expose ourselves to the energy of the other person. All right. So today we're talking about set and setting and trance state and things that we can do in order to create a more sacred and positive relationship with our work. I'm going to have some of my punch now. A friend of mine calls this Mormon punch for Mormons. I don't know. It's like, it tastes really good. It's like fruit punch, but I have to water it down so it's not too sweet. All right. So one of the things that I do as a practitioner, as a naturopathic practitioner, is that I am often called to create medicines for people. And this can happen either when a person gets a reading from me. People will come in for a phone reading. And I usually will do a combination of remote viewing and tarot card reading, as will you if you decide to do this for a living. And if a person is trying to accomplish something spiritually, energetically, or physically, they will have me create what's called an intuitive tea. And so today I thought it would be nice if you could see how an intuitive tea is made, and hopefully it can inspire you to come up with creative ways to create rituals and work with medicines to help enhance your practice. I apologize. I can't seem to find my lighter. I'm going to have to step away and just grab it. Just a minute. Okay, thank you for that. Thank you for the patience. So before I begin, I work with the client, and I've been doing remote viewing. Say a patient comes to me, I knew what remedy I was going to create today, because a lot of people have been coming to me asking if I can create something to unite them with their soulmate and also to heal wounds that have to do with trauma, love, intimacy, etc. So I just want to say that the plants certainly can help with anxiety, etc. But they also have a spiritual component, which is that they are teachers and they can be aligned with us in ways that are really, really positive. So when I make a remedy for somebody, it isn't just about drinking the tea. It's about everything that goes into connecting with that herb, connecting with that plant and the spirit of the plant and what the plant is trying to do for the individual. So I only make teas twice a week, 3 times a week. I like to make them on Sundays after I finish working with people. I do my live show, or early in the morning before the live show, depending, I will start making my teas. And I like to do some chanting in the mornings before I start my day. And then I like to create a nice mood around the medicine that I'll be making for the clients. And I like to use incense to kind of clear the air. but also to kind of just pray and chant for positive energy to come in right before I do the work. I love mantras, and I love to pray the mantras when I'm doing the medicine. And it goes back to intent, that anytime you're working for somebody as a remote viewer, as a reader, as an herbalist, healer practitioner, you really want to just always do things with the highest intent, that everything is coming from a place of love and service. So I always like to, before I begin making a medicine for anybody, to just create a sacred space beforehand. And really, again, the intention is to give the person who you're creating the medicine for, the intention is to heal them in the way that they desire to be healed. Now, you could just have somebody make you an intuitive tea or a plant medicine. Like I said, here comes the familiar. There she is. It's okay. You can, you can make a tea. There are so many ways that you can connect with the plants. When deciding what plants to use, if you're, for example, doing some remote viewing and you've got to go in and do some spiritual work, Mila, that's not for you. Get down. One of the things I do is I will use my pendulum. And you'll find when you're working with the herbs and you're trying to go deep and doing this deep work, shamanic work, let the plant allies work with you. Now, you may choose to only work with one plant at a time, and that's okay, just to what we call diet with that one plant. But today we're going to be doing a combination of plants that I'm going to be making for a woman who is looking for her soulmate. She's had some trauma in her life. So we want to have intent that she can heal that. And we've prayed and we've, put a positive intention in. One of the things I always do is I like to work with the minerals, with the stones as well, because they also are healers. So before we got started, I went ahead and I used my pendulum to pick out what stones I would be using. And I believe one of the stones that was selected for this patient was malachite. Okay. Malachite is used to heal heartbreak. So that will go into my herb. The herbs will go inside this here. So I'm going to go ahead and put the malachite there. One of the other one of the other stones that wanted to work with this person was obsidian. And that was just to ground this person because she had a lot of trauma. And then there was one other stone that was, I believe it was rose quartz. I also wanted to put something in during the making of the medicine, smoky quartz, because she had some confusion about some stuff. So I'm just going to put those in with the medicine as I make it. Everything's been cleaned and purified. And then I move on to my plants. Now, one of the plants that always seems to come to me when we're dealing with heart issues of opening the heart, this person had a lot of trauma, so her heart chakra was very, very closed. So you can be sure she's trying to do remote viewing. She's going to have trouble opening the fourth chakra. So I'm just going to put on some gloves. You can get these at your local store. Oh, thank you, Dana. Very kind. I appreciate the donation. And The reason why you're going to, if you're particularly if you're making this for somebody else, you want to be as clean as possible. But the other thing is that you'll start to see when you're working with the herbs, you're going to want to really work your intention, your prayers into the medicine. So, because again, this person has a lot of stuff going on in the fourth chakra, and we're trying to we gave her a tarot reading, and we did some empathy work as well. There's definitely somebody we saw trying to come in, like she had somebody astrally connecting with her. So she felt like she wanted to connect in the dream world with this individual first. So we're going to help her basically experience remote viewing in the dream state so that she can begin to connect with this soulmate. So we started with the Hawthorne, and Hawthorne is hard. So if you are making this yourself, don't be afraid to just get in there and just grind it up with a tool, with a grinder. And you could do this with a blender, and I have done it with a blender, but I personally, there it goes. I really like just doing it by hand because I feel like I really can put my intention. I feel like the more I use mechanical devices, the less, I don't feel like I have to break them all the way. I just want to crack them open a little bit. Okay, so those can go in. Those are my Hawthorne. And again, using the pendulum, where'd my pendulum go? The next plant that I got called to make for this individual was mugwort. And mugwort brings you dreams. So does the plant African dream root. Mugwort is safe to drink. But, if the plants will tell you, they'll let you know. Yeah, she really needs this. So she's going to have a dream lover. Okay. So you also have to decide who your star plant is going to be. Mugwort brings the dream, but my star stone, I think, is going to be, the main stone is going to be the malachite for healing the trauma and the rose quartz. Honestly, I felt with this particular patient that I was called to rose petals, believe it or not. And rose buds and rose petals are really powerful medicine. They're also a liver tonic, but they're amazing for opening up the fourth chakra. A rose by any other name is still a rose. If you guys only knew what this smelled like. Now you could put a little bit of lavender in because lavender is calming. It's considered a nervine. And, if you're thinking and you're really trying to open that fourth chakra and help someone who's trying to bring out that energy, particularly someone who's learning, they're in class and they're trying to be a better remote viewer, you have to be able to open the fourth chakra. So you could, to just give her a sense of calm or peace, if this is someone who has fear and anxiety over intimacy, you could add a little bit of lavender because lavender is a calming herb, but be careful with it because it's strong. So if you're adding rose and you're adding lavender, just a pinch will do you. You don't need to do a lot of that, but I think she got a yes on lavender. Yeah, she got a yes on lavender. Now, other plants for trauma. Again, if you're having trouble with trancing, if you're having trouble with because of trauma with intimacy, and also healing deep-seated trauma, this was something that came to her very strong, and that was holy basil. Holy basil. A lot of people will diet just on holy basil. They'll do fasting on holy basil. You could do a vegan fast with just holy basil to drink if you're trying to heal deep-seated trauma. You don't need to grind it because it's leaves. Other things you can think so associated with healing the heart, but it's also a nervine, so it can heal deep-seated trauma. Am I buffering? Am I still buffering? I froze. You guys can see me now? You're back? Okay, good. Sorry about that. All right. So now that I've made my medicine and we're playing our mantras, you really just want to mix the medicine with your hands and just now, depending upon what your tradition is, for example, if you're a Muslim healer, they will pray. You can pray the sutra from the Quran, right? And then into the hand. And then from that, you can put the prayers into the medicine. Isn't that cool? The herbs that I'm using this is intuitive. So the patient, this is a woman who really wants to find love, but she's had trauma in life. And so she would like to connect with him on the astral plane. So this has a tantric aspect to it. And this is something that a lot of remote viewers, if you're doing HCRV, they will start working with this type of medicine because they're entering into whatever gets them into an altered state. So the main was rose. I put some rose petal in to open the heart. Holy basil for trauma. Mugwort for compassionate love. Linden as well for compassionate love. I added a little bit of lavender just because it's calming. And then I'm just working the medicine with my hands and just sending the intent. And then after you send the intent, I'm going to take the stone. The stones have done what they needed to do. The stones are removed. Now, if they want to use their own stones, they can. So what you'll do is I will pack this up and mail it to them with instructions about how to take their tea. Now, the other thing you can do, though, with the tea is you can make a bag, a sleep tonic bag for you. Both you can use these to make tea bags. Oh, welcome, Nicole. Good to see you here. And congratulations on becoming an elder. So these are tea bags that I get on Amazon. And you can use them to make the tea. But what you can also do is you can make gree bags or sleep bags. So these herbs have the prayer and the intention of bringing her dream lover to her. If she wanted to put a stone like rose quartz as well, and then just pray on it, she can put this under her pillow or under the bed and it will bring the dreams. And then at night, she can also say her prayers at night, her meditation, and then she can drink her tea. And if she does these two things, she can attract that energy. So that would be an example of working with the herbs in order to connect with somebody through remote viewing. In this case, this is more tantric. There's a couple more things I wanted to say about working with the herbs. I would say just connect with, study the herbs, stay open to how they impact you, how they help you in your work. And, it's worth it to have a pendulum and to begin to feel comfortable with the pendulum, knowing which plants are being called to you. And so that's just something that I do with clients. By the way, one of the other things that I didn't add it, I was going to add it, I forgot. Cinnamon is a big, a lot of you already know this because a lot of you are practitioners, but cinnamon is used quite a bit in love spells and to attract love. It has a sweet scent. So I think I'll put some, I was going to put some of that in for her as well. Okay, so, that's an example of taking a medicine. This particular person is going to be doing some remote viewing to try and connect with, or, it's not all politics. Just because I do remote viewing on politics, what this woman is trying to do is with HCRV is, I think far more noble. She just wants her husband, right? She just wants to use HCRV and the plant medicine. We made an intuitive tea specific for her so that she can use the wisdom of HCRV to begin to connect with her other half, right? All right, awesome. Did anybody have any questions about how we use plant medicines and rituals in order to enhance our experiences as HCRV practitioners? No questions? It is, well, what's witchy? This is how, the people, look, if you were a traditional folk healer and you were competing with the other guy, you got to call the other person a witch because they're competing with your business, right? Can I repeat the herbs? Yes, I would love to. The herbs are mugwort, hawthorne, motherwort, cinnamon, rosebuds or petals. Smells amazing. A pinch of lavender, some linden flower, and finally, for severe trauma, PTSD, anything that's causing you, I really do want love, but you keep repelling it because you've got like, oh, it's going to be like the last time, right? If you've got like PTSD over bad relationships, mugwort made you. Well, it's not the main ingredient, the mugwort, but it's definitely there. Okay, and then the holy basil. So the combination of the holy basil and the mugwort is probably going to put you in a very deep trance-like sleep. Yeah. Keep a journal, because if somebody's trying to connect with you on the other side and you do something like this, it's really, it's nice. It opens up the heart a lot when you work with the plants. The plants want to work with you, and I just love what I do. I think I took it a little too far. I don't think I needed to go to medical school. But I'm that's how I am, It's like I want to be the best, and if you can learn, I wanted to learn everything, so I, pursued everything. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started now. It's 7:35. We've got 2 targets today. Did everybody enjoy that? Okay, so if you're just starting us and if you've never done HCRV, welcome, welcome, welcome. It's a lot of fun. We're going to show you how to do it. You're going to take a piece of paper and we want you, if you're getting credit for the class. If you're not getting credit for the class, you can just observe this. If you decide to take the class again, we'll be starting up this class all over again in about 3 weeks. So you will put your full name, a T for target. Then we're going to give you the number of the target sequences. Both targets today are hidden, so you won't know what you're getting. Do not focus on me. Focus on the target. We'll talk about that as well. Make sure to date it. You're going to have 3 lines. The first line here, you're going to be talking to me if you have any concerns or issues, or write messages also to Terry. That's what this line is for. Any physical impressions, if you see a circle or a blob or any kind of strange shape, write it down. To the right, any sensations or crazy thoughts that enter your mind, or if you hear anything, go ahead and write it down. 9 times out of 10, it's significant. Oh, I forgot to mention, I also put a little cinnamon in because cinnamon's associated with romance and love. I mean, rose petals and cinnamon, like that is in every single love spell you're ever gonna. It is what it is, right? Okay. Questions? Are we ready to rumble? One of the things I like to do when I create my medicines is I will sing. Sometimes I'll sing a sea shanty or an Irish ditty, but most of the time I'm just playing mantras, particularly on Sunday, because on Sunday I do so many orders that it helps me get focused. So depending upon how you work your practice, if you're going into a practice similar to mine, you'll have that one day where you'll just have your orders for teas and medicine bags and you'll just you get into a rhythm with it. It's beautiful. Okay, so today's number, you're going to go ahead and write it down, is T53 period 325 75 216. Okay, so you're all going to get yourselves nice and comfortable. All right. Take a deep breath in. Brief breath out. Let all the tension go. Just let it all out. And as you fall into that deep relaxation, I want you to imagine a beautiful white light coming from your coccyx, your seat, and it just comes down into the ground and it buries deep into the ground, and imagine just grounding yourself, that energy going in and grounding. And then imagine white light coming up from the earth and bringing that healing energy up to the coccyx. Beautiful healing white light. And imagine you're in a beautiful bubble of white light as a shield of protection. And you're just allowing that beautiful white light to come up. And as it comes up from the coccyx, it will continue to rise and send healing. Also, energy is going to be coming up from your feet, from the earth to your feet, causing your feet to relax. Just allow everything to just relax, allowing the energy to just come up from the earth. Beautiful white light. And just keep imagining that you're in a shield of light, a bubble of protection, white light. Nice gold all around. And as that beautiful healing energy is coming up, I want you to go ahead and put your hands on your stomach. And just imagine that healing white light sending healing to the abdomen and connecting you with your core. And now imagine that healing energy coming up to the low heart. And put a hand on below the breast and above the breast, low and high heart. And just imagine healing energy going to the fourth chakra, excuse me. And now I want you to imagine healing energy, white light coming from the sky, yang energy, right? The sun energy coming down. And as it comes down, it's going to connect with your seventh chakra, allowing your seventh chakra to begin to open up and receive information. And as that beautiful healing energy is coming over you, imagine it opening up the seventh and then the sixth chakra. And then finally the fifth chakra. And then as the energy continues to come down, it will join with Earth's energy and it will meet you in the center, known as the core star. And we just want you to abide in that beautiful, balanced energy, letting yourself receive love, compassion, and healing from spirit. And as you abide in this wonderful feeling, I want you to send love and compassion from your fourth chakra with intention, non-judgmental love and compassion to the target. And to do that, you can go ahead and just touch the target on the paper with your hand. And imagine a stream of compassion going from your fourth chakra to your right hand or left, depending on whether you're right dominant or left dominant, sending loving energy to the target. And as you send that loving energy to the target, I want you to close your eyes and see if you get a response as the energy floods to you, as you connect to this location. This is a location. Any images you may be getting, I want you to write them down. As you connect with your core and open your heart, I want you to imagine putting yourself in this place, having so much empathy for this location that you have placed yourself there. And as you sit in this place, I want you to look around and tell us what you see. You can write it down. As you're sitting in this place, do you feel that you are in a place that is cold or hot? The sensations in your body. Do you feel that this place is populated by other people, or is it isolated? You can also send a cord out to anything in the area, love and compassion. It can be an animal or a person to attempt to get more information about the location. Do you feel safe when you meditate in this location? When you focus on the energy of your seat where you're sitting, does the energy feel tight and constricted or open and relaxed? Now check in on the second chakra, which corresponds to sexuality, kidneys, also some aspects of survival. Is it open or closed, the second chakra? And you can continue to move up the chakras and also connecting to different parts of your body. Just tune in and just see if you feel or sense anything about the location. Do you feel there are other people there? What do you feel the nature of your business is? Why are you there? Okay, tuning into your fourth chakra, your heart, which is open and non-judgmental. Do you feel that the other or the place is saying anything to you? Do you sense any communication? What are they trying to say? What are you feeling when you're in the energy of this place? Now I want you to tune into your fifth chakra. Do you feel it's constricted or open? Do you feel free to speak in this location or do you feel constricted? As you focus on the sixth chakra, I want you to breathe into the sixth chakra as you're touching the target. And that's called it's called milking the third eye. I've talked about that. We can talk about it again now. I just want you to, as you breathe out, imagine opening up the third eye and allowing you to see what you can in the area. Breathe in and then out. Open the third eye and just allow the images to come to you. And now I'm just going to let you take a minute to check out the area. And in a second, we'll go ahead and we'll close the circle, but I'll let you finish up. Okay, great. So if you feel that you've gotten as much information as you can from this location, you can thank the target for participating, the elementals, whoever you communicated with. You can cut cords. Imagine cutting cords between yourself and the target. You've fulfilled your requirements. And then you release the target. Thank you. All right, let's talk about it. Anybody want to share what they saw? Grab my other computer. Thank you. Thank you, Danny. My pen pal from Sohag, Egypt gave this to me. Baghdad Market. Anybody else have anything? Okay. Water Dead Man. The evacuation in Afghanistan. Oh dear. Cambodia ended up in Berlin. A+ for Nicole. There's always somebody in the crowd. Who said Berlin? Interesting. Okay, that was the Leer district in Germany. It's basically a really cool area, and they've got some lakes and streams, and it's cool and it's peaceful. Somebody got it right. Somebody was picking up. Somebody wound up in Berlin. This is in Lower Saxony, I think they call it. Something like that. I don't know. It's former Prussia. I looked for news about this location to find out if anything's going on there even remotely interesting. And the only thing remotely interesting was that a nurse from this area was arrested because she didn't believe in vaccines. So she had thrown out the Pfizer and was giving people saline solution. So I was thinking that was the only thing that's really known about this town, small town, like in the news. So I was thinking, yeah, I would have my first chakra be closed too. Like I ain't But it was, but there's really, fun fact about that area. So, not a lot of information though about Lear, Germany, or Lower Germany, wherever it is. You know what's interesting is I imagine there were a lot of fights and wars and battles and history, but I couldn't find any. There's nothing mentioned in the Wikipedia. So, but I use Google Maps, and then I use random celebrity to pick random people in history, and that's how we do the class, so that there's never any bias. So that's basically HCRV with a hidden target. Good job, everybody that got it right or wound up in Germany or close. You're pretty late, Karen, unless you're, I don't know. Can always. I had a building by water with a dead man. Oh dear. Well, somebody could have drowned in the lake. There is a lake. Is everybody? Did anybody get close? Usually I have a few star pupils. Terry, what'd you get? Yeah. What kind of weather did you guys pick up? This is one of the areas I think that flooded. It's next to the Netherlands. Yeah. All right. So people who are part of HCRV1, thank you so much. Be sure and read the required reading. I think we're reading chapters 15 and 16 in the book, which is talking about self-care. Forest and mountains. Yeah. It is forest and mountains. Well, you got me nervous, Melinda. It sounds like maybe somebody went swimming out there and had something happen to them. Yeah, that's kind of where I was at, Julie. I was like pleasant, cool, green forest, a lake. Huh, so interesting. Oh, your ancestors are from Prussia. Very nice. Okay, so class 1, you can stick around if you want to. This is class 2 now. We're going to do one more target for class 2, and we always get a little bit deeper with the class 2. I don't know. Yes, mountains, lakes, rivers, streams. Okay, so here's the new target for class 2. Okay, so today we're going to be looking for class 2 at a target. Now, this is going to be multidimensional because I want people who are at level 2 to get used to this idea. I don't know if you guys are practicing a lot. I know that people have been busy, but one of the things I want you to get used to is this idea of approaching a target from multiple angles. Has anybody ever tried that? Approaching the target from multiple angles. This is something that Sheila from Celtic Tarot and I used to talk about all the time. Say I try to get in. You're level 2, so you've been there, done that, got the scars. All right, say you're trying to get in and you can't get in. Has anybody been hired or they had to go in to, somebody asked you to go in to look at a target and you couldn't get in? It can be extremely stressful, particularly if it's a paid job. You've been paid to go in, you don't want to disappoint, and then for whatever reason, you can't get in. You're using the cards, you're using fetish objects. You see what I'm saying? It's like no matter what, you ever get blocked? Who here has had that happen? You just don't know why you're blocked. You don't know if it's the person, you don't know if it's the client, you don't know if it's you. Even if you're doing HCRV for yourself, say you're doing HCRV because you're curious about Afghanistan in the next 24 to 48 hours. I think something major is going to happen in the next 24 to 48 hours because of the remotes. And I think they're going to get hit by the Northeast. And I think that, Tajikistan, which is an ally of China, is going to wipe the map with them. But they don't know that yet. So you go in, you scan, you try to find information, and it's limited. Great, Terry. So I don't know if Terry had a problem getting in with William Barr, but I couldn't get in. Every time. I mean, it's kind of like the joke that comes up for people that are remote viewers, sitting around having cocktails. I can't get in. I cannot get in. I tried multiple times to get into William Barr's energy and I couldn't. And then Sheila was like, let me try and get in. But she went in because she approached it because she has like a master's in criminal justice or something. So she went in and she was like talking criminal justice. And so she was able to, but so sometimes the point is this. You had a hard time until recently? Oh, cool. Oh, you got it right, Miss P. Martins. Yeah, obtuse. So what are you going to do in a situation like that? What do you... time's a wasting. Campbell's Soup has called you. They've got a spy. They need to find out. What are you going to do? You can't get in. You're going to phone a friend? You're going to call Ghostbusters? You're graduating level 2. You got to be the best, right? Right. You got to try another approach, right, Terry? You have to go. Something about the energy is not working, right? So what's the best example of somebody being crazy? If you try the same thing over and over and over again and you get the same response. So my feeling is, yes, welcome, Bugs Bunny. Happy to have you here. Anybody can show up. Terry and I want as many people certified learning this as possible. This is, we want people to be empowered. So my feeling to you, if you're having trouble getting in and you can't get in and you don't know what to do, is there's a couple things you can do. One is you can walk away and just give it a breather and go listen to mantra music or go focus on another target or go focus on something else. But here's what I would recommend instead. My cat's going to knock us. Mila, do you want to get locked in the bathroom for being a naughty girl? So I'm going to have to go take care of her. I'll be back in a sec. Come on, let's go. Yeah, let's go eat it. Come on, eat it. So basically what you're going to have to do, you're going to have to go to somebody else. So say If somebody is not giving you information, then you have to find somebody else. The trick is then you can approach it from different energetic angles. Oh, hi, Tracy. Welcome to Fairies and Angels. You can try and approach it with different energies. I mean, like that's the joke. When Bill Barr was in office, right, when he was serving AG, the joke was, how many ways can Whimsy try to seduce him? I was singing love songs. I was I was trying so many energetic ways to get in. It just didn't work. What you can do is you can attempt to get in somebody who has the information that's related to them. For example, if I go in and I put myself in the shoes of Robert Mueller, and then Robert Mueller has a thought like, I need to call Joe, then what's my first thought? If I put myself so completely in the shoes of Robert Mueller that my thought is, I gotta call Joe. What's my first thought after that? Why did I think that? Why did I think that? Why did I think I had to call Joe? Joe. So then when I do my map, I'm just making up Joe. Then when I make my map, I've got Mueller, and then I'm trying to figure out what Mueller is thinking. I sit in his shoes. I start thinking of Rosenstein. Maybe he's thinking about Rosenstein. I think about Rosenstein as soon as I put myself in his shoes, and then I think, why am I thinking of Rosenstein? And then when I think, why am I thinking of Rosenstein? I find myself having a meeting with Rosenstein, and we're sitting in a place. This isn't the AG. This is somewhere else. This looks like it's Rosenstein's apartment. Why am I sitting in Rosenstein's apartment? So you see what you're doing? There's two other people here. Who are they? They look to be FBI. What's the conversation about? Why did this happen? What happens is you start to do mapping. The point I'm trying to make here is that sometimes you got to go in through another angle. If you can't get in, don't waste your time. Don't drive yourself crazy. If no is the answer and the person doesn't want to work with you, then the person doesn't want to work with you. So you have to go in some other way. We still wound up with the information. We still wound up finding out a lot of what they were up to. It's just that particular, this is free choice, right? HCRV is all free choice. We don't go in and take things that don't belong to us. We send unconditional love and compassion. We try to put ourselves in the shoes of other person. And the majority of the time, people want to tell us what's happening. But sometimes they don't. So you got to go find some. You try a couple different techniques, a couple different energetic approaches. If you get no response, try and go in through another way. Okay, so any questions before we do the quick technique? Anybody having any troubles at all? You're level 2 and you feel like you've learned absolutely nothing. Anybody feel like this is all in vain? There's no point to any of it? Anybody ever scare themselves with their accuracy, where they decided that they were like daydreaming, right? You're daydreaming and you're thinking of a particular celebrity, or you're daydreaming and you're thinking of somebody that you have empathy for, like, wow, it must be really hard to be Brad Pitt. And then all of a sudden a thought enters your mind and you find yourself accessing information about that individual. That's HCRV. Okay, so it's getting clearer and clearer. Kay, you're really good. I think there's a few times when Kay has just knocked it out of the ballpark. Yeah, Kay, exactly. You got to go to someone near. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and you don't have to go to human targets. You can just go locations. A lot of remote viewers just do location targets, like if there's a missing person or they're trying to find a body or something like that. Somebody that took a couple classes last year, she actually felt where the murder had taken place. She walked there and she actually found, I think, a skull or something. She just was gifted. Yeah. Okay, so we just want to go ahead and center ourselves, make sure you're not being disturbed, make sure you have had a chance to use the restroom. We just want to ground ourselves. Take a couple deep breaths in, deep breaths out. Imagine you're in a bubble of light, a shield of protection. And imagine you're just anchoring yourself to the earth. And as you're imagining yourself grounded, I want you to go ahead and take one hand and just touch the target with your hand. And you can put one hand on your gut if it's going to help. And just imagine sending love and compassion to this target. If you want to use your pendulum, you can. And as you're sending loving, compassionate energy to the target, you can begin to connect with the target and see if you're getting any information. You can start with trying to find out if the target is male or female. Is the target young or old? Deceased, alive, young, old? How do you see the target? Male, female, or something else? As you send love and compassion to the target, do you hear anything? For example, sometimes you can send love and compassion to the target and you will actually get a response. As you send love and compassion to the target, do you feel your first chakra is open or closed? Can move on to the second chakra. And you can focus on your gut. As you put yourself in the shoes of this person, what do you feel you do for a living? What's your work? What are you excited about? What are you passionate about? Do you have a family? As you send loving energy from the fourth chakra to this target, do you feel the person's fourth chakra is open or closed? As you connect to this target, what about the fifth chakra? Do you feel, when you put yourself in the shoes of this target, do you feel your throat is open or closed? And now as you focus on the sixth chakra, imagine breathing the sixth chakra open and allowing you to see very clearly through the eyes of the other person. Imagine all that information coming up, being digested, and sending images to the sixth chakra. You can go ahead and draw them if you like. And also, you can focus on the seventh chakra if you feel that there's a higher calling or spiritual purpose that this individual feels. Connecting with the seventh chakra can allow you to see what they feel their higher calling is. And I will go ahead and let you finish up your communication with the target. And then we will cut cords in just a bit. Right, you're going to thank the target for participating. You can cut cords, imagine cutting cords. Release the target. Thank you for participating. All right, when you're ready, let's go ahead and share. Anybody have any impressions about the target? Did you feel the target was male or female? Take a chance. It's okay to be wrong. People are like, I don't want to be the first. It's okay. Old or young? Okay, young male from another time, male energy, girl crying. Interesting. Someone is trying to silence her. Interesting. The young female. Interesting. Okay. Middle age. Okay. Heavy-hearted. Interesting. Did she or he say anything to you when you asked what they wanted? Hmm. Oh, an old-fashioned hat. Forgiveness. Nice. Did you get the impression that it was a good person, not a good person, positive energy? Huh, interesting. Anxiety, interesting. So it was, you guys ready or you want to keep sharing or? Oh, interesting. Bugs Bunny. Interesting. It was Natalie Portman, the actress Natalie Portman. Very smart. I think she went to Hebrew University and also Harvard. She attended Harvard. Interesting. Yes, the wonderful Natalie Portman. Interesting. Native American in previous life. Who knows? Maybe. Maybe. She's a great actress. I know that. Yeah. All right. It looks like we're coming to the end of class. Everybody did fantastic. If you are taking HCRV 1 or 2 for certification, make sure to take pictures of your homework and email it to Terry Renner and myself. Oh, really? There was a movie she made hats. Very nice. She's a pretty amazing woman. Yeah. Speaks a few languages. All right. Love and light, everybody. Thank you so much for being such great students. I hope you had fun learning HCRV today. For those of you who have never taken a class and just wanted to sit in and see what we're doing. If you'd like to find out more about becoming certified, or if you just want to hang out and take classes just because you enjoy learning and hanging out with witches, you can join join empaths, elders, empaths. What is it? Elders, empaths, and healers. We meet once a week. All right. Well, we do other things besides that. We teach class once a week. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for the moderators and everybody who came today. I hope you enjoyed today's class. And yeah, be safe, everyone. And I will see you next time. Thank you. Thanks, Melinda. Thanks, Phyllis, Terry, Nicole, Kay, Julie, Miss P. Martins, everybody else. Much appreciated. All right. Night, night.